Hello and good morning, everybody. My name is Danny Colella. I'm a Facebook Live marketing expert, coach, and consultant. And today I have Barrie Cohen here, who is a public relations specialist. And as you can see at the top, I have what can public relations do for your brand? Today, we're going to use Barrie's knowledge. We're going to get up in that brain of hers to really talk about what business owners are missing when it comes to being seen in the news, to being seen and the mistakes that they're making that they should be doing that pretty much when you go into an account or a client, you're like, you're missing the boat here, right?
Absolutely.
And
I can see it right away.
so why don't you, to my audience, introduce yourself and what you do.
Sure. So I'm Barrie Cohen. I am the owner and founder of Barrie Cohen Public Relations. And my firm basically specializes in strategic and targeted media opportunities. So whether it's getting my clients on the news, on the radio, in a print article that really highlights their story and some of the amazing services and ways that they help individuals.
I love that, and it's a great reason to have her on because I focus on just social media video. What Barrie helps you do is get on the news, get your articles on the news, get out there and really, I love what you said, create some legitimacy behind your brand, because when a brand's on the news, I mean, I think there's just a psychology that's like, oh, they're doing it right, and I should pay attention, right?
Absolutely, and I think so many businesses, especially in the health and wellness field, which I specialize in, have amazing stories to tell, and they don't always have the opportunity to share those stories. And I think by getting out there in the public, it's not only, bringing them more business, but really showing the amazing work that they're doing.
Yeah,
and
highlighting
especially,
it.
Right, and especially in markets that are super saturated. So when you're in bigger cities and there's, thousands of dermatologists or thousands of acupuncturists. How do you separate yourself from all of these other businesses, especially if you're doing essentially the same type of work?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think, getting out there in the news just lends credibility and legitimacy to what you're doing because it sets you above the standard.
I love that. So today we're going to go over 3 things that business owners are missing. I asked Barrie to dig deep back into that bag of all the scope of work she's done over the years, and we're going to show you a little bit of her highlighted work. But why don't we go over a couple things business owners are clearly missing when it comes to public relations?
Sure. So I think the first thing is a lot of businesses are stuck in their ways. They're stuck in the old ideas of buying ad space in a newspaper, in a magazine, and unfortunately, people are not reading the news the same way anymore.
Totally.
Most of it's online. And, anyone can buy ad space, but that still doesn't tell me about your business. It doesn't tell me the work that you're doing. It doesn't show me how unique or different you are and a step above the rest. So I think it's really important for businesses to have that creativity, which is what the news and some of these earned media opportunities can do for them.
I love that. And if anybody out there has had experience of being on the news or has worked with public relations, we would love to hear below your experience and how that went. But I love how you say it adds that. It adds like more. It's more context behind it. Like a billboard or an ad is just an ad. Like, hey, okay. And if it's not a brand that everybody knows, like we know what plumbing is, right?
Right.
When somebody puts an ad out for plumbing, yeah. But you specialize, just like I do, in the health and wellness field. These people are solving problems for people, and telling them what's going on in the process is really what, takes away that unknown of what to expect. So you know what I got the other day? I don't know if this still works, but to my front door was this huge phone book.
Do people still use those? I
There
can't believe they even still send those.
There were so many ads.
Really?
It was this huge, thick book with so many ads, and that's what I was like. I didn't glance at it all. I was just thinking, wow, this is like old school. Who remembers phone books?
I think the people who get those probably just throw those out. And unfortunately, if you've spent a lot of money to put an ad in there, no one's going to see it.
No.
But if you have an article that talks about, even anything from aesthetic medicine to, really, really innovative, cutting-edge technology, it just shows so much more of your brand's personality.
It so does.
And people can really connect with you. And I think that's the most important thing, which goes to my second point of, people really using their businesses to the fullest and using their patients, using their clientele as resources and having them tell their story and creating that human connection, which is what all of us are craving at the end of the day.
Totally.
And all of us wanting. And, me watching, 5 minutes of someone talking about how this one procedure changed their lives, well, I'm going to that doctor.
Yes, I
At
agree.
the end of the day, rather than spending 20 minutes searching on the internet and not being able to distinguish what's what.
We are on the same page with that. I mean, that's why I do what I do, is because it is about bringing out the true essence of that human being, the problem that they're solving, how they uniquely serve their clients. Because just like Barry said, these I got something in my throat. These markets can be crazy competitive, and it can be so saturated. And without these differentiators like what Barry does and what I do, you're just going to blend in, and you're just going to hope that people fall in and find you.
It's true, and especially in Denver where the health and wellness space is just booming.
Yes.
Faster than people can keep up with. And there are so many physicians. There's so many wellness practices out there, so it's really hard for the average individual to decide who to go with.
And this was the client testimonial one too, or is that the next one?
Yes.
That is? Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, is that the next one, or that was number 2?
That was number 2. Yeah, you have to use your clients.
You do. You just have to use the people that are happy and had a great experience. Let them tell the story about how you affected their life. Because ultimately, marketing in general is creating feeling and emotion, especially in our industry, which is health and wellness. Creating that feeling of change, letting somebody go along the ride like, I felt this way, and then I didn't know what to expect, but I found this.
And especially for issues that people have a hard time talking about. I mean, I worked on a project for hyperhidrosis, which is excessive sweating.
Yeah.
That's a very personal, taboo topic. People don't feel comfortable. But watching a segment where a woman bared her soul, told her story, showed pictures of what her life has been like dealing with it, and then showing the procedure getting done, people could connect to it. I mean, I had just friends and family saying, oh my God, I've suffered from that. That's amazing that she would tell her story.
And that's something you do is you'll help these companies get these segments shot and get these segments aired on the news, sometimes even for free, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Not every time. But
earned media is mostly for free. So that's, giving businesses the opportunity to show that they have an amazing story to tell. And because the story is so great, the media is like, I want to do that story.
It's a people piece. It's creating change in someone's life.
Absolutely.
They'll air that for free. And with Barry's relationship, sometimes that happens even easier. So what's the third thing you think business owners are missing?
So I think the third thing is that business owners think they can do it all. And, that's a wonderful mindset. However, you get into trouble where, if your focus is pleasing your clientele, then you really don't have the time to spend emailing, following up on phone calls, setting up interviews. So there's so much more that goes into what I do behind the scenes that people don't see.
Totally.
And if you're not in that world, people assume that they can do it. And, I would never tell someone how to do their business, just like they shouldn't try to do what I do, because it's just too hard. And a business owner's focus needs to be on running their business successfully.
And letting go is a life lesson. I just want to remind you.
It absolutely is.
It is a life lesson, and for the people that can do it, great for you. And for the people that can't, we're encouraging you to let go. Because we know what we're good at. We know what we're not. For instance, Barry's planning a big event in Philadelphia, right? And the logistics are just through the roof, right?
Through the roof.
Just email after email, just communication after communication. And a lot of the times, this stuff needs done
immediately.
Now. Not in an hour, not after your lunch meeting, not when you get off of work tonight.
Right, and unfortunately, some people miss great opportunities because they just don't have the time. And so, taking that pressure away from a business owner, for someone like me, who that's my everyday, I'm used to juggling 15 to 20 things at a time, it takes all that pressure off, and you just show up and you be great at your interview. That's
just
all I
rock
ask.
it.
Yeah, just rock it. That's it.
Why don't you talk about the interview process? So some of you might be worried, well, Barry gets me on the news. Oh my gosh, that's probably the scariest thing I've ever done in my life. Talk about how you support these people. Like, you're literally like off camera right here during
holding
these
their
things.
hand,
Like,
bringing them water.
So talk about that process you do with them.
Sure. So from start to finish, the way an interview even comes about is I will pitch a story. So I will send a reporter or producer an email that highlights, a particular topic. Once that story is picked up, I organize an interview, whether it's on the phone for a print article or having to be in studio for a live like this or taped piece. I go with my clients. Ahead of time, I usually give them some media coaching, what colors to wear, especially if they're a physician, wear a lab coat, makeup, all of those little things that you don't really see. And then just giving them some tips, speaking slow, complete sentences, no yes or no answers, try to make eye contact with the host and also with the camera. Things like that. I unfortunately can't calm someone's nerves completely. It is a nerve-wracking process, but I think just knowing that I'm there and making sure, that they have their talking points, that they feel comfortable.
You've prepared.
Just getting them water if they need it. It's just having a helping hand. And even if they need to look at me offset, for me to just say, you're doing fabulous, you're fine. It's just knowing that someone's there, I think, really helps the process.
I love that. And, you know, when I met with Barrie, surprisingly, I didn't know a lot about public relations or how it worked. And just through meeting with her, I thought it was so important to bring her on here just to help business owners who are still at that point. Unfortunately, some of you are still at that point where you do need to carry the load. A lot of you startups, a lot of you people that are getting your feet off the ground, a lot of you brand ambassadors are just trying to build a brand. We get that. But know that when the opportunity comes that you can finally let go, Barrie is the perfect person to hire you to kind of get to that point where you can let go of that and let her manage that.
Yeah. And I say everyone needs a publicist, whether they know it or not. You really just need that extra help and the extra push and just having someone there. And I think that's what I pride myself on, being so hands-on. And I want all my clients to feel like if they need anything, they can call me whenever they need. I'm there on set. I'll be on the phone if they're a little nervous. Just knowing that they have someone who supports them and is really behind them, I think really just takes it to a next level.
And again, you do this remotely as well.
Yep.
So
I work
again,
with clients.
You're in Denver now, but you're flying to Philadelphia to do some work.
And I've worked internationally with clients in Canada. I work all over. So if you need me, let me know.
Cool. So if somebody wants to get a hold of you, it's barriecohen.com.
Yep.
BarrieCohen. We will put the link in the comments so that you can check her out whether you're watching this live or in the replay, and you can just get an idea of this is the human being behind the work. That's why I love live video. We get to showcase the human being. This is who you're going to talk to. This is who's going to take you through the process. So thanks for joining me today.
Thanks for having me. This is great.
Super fun. It's not as scary as you thought it was going to be, right?
No, I'm usually behind the scenes, so this is my first foray into being on camera. It's fun.
And what I love about interviewing people, because this is your first live video ever.
It is.
What I love about interviewing people and having their first live video is they're going to say the same thing every time. Like, that was easy, right?
Let's do it again.
Yeah, it really wasn't as hard. And once you kind of get over the hump of the unknown, it's kind of like, wow, I could talk about what I care about
often. You might be seeing me every week on here.
Yeah, I can talk about what I care about often, and that's okay. So I'll also put the link down to her social media so you can check out her social media, because I'm going to challenge you, Barrie. Start adding value to people on social media.
For sure.
Just use your Facebook page, your free Facebook page, to start communicating with people about the problems they're facing and the solutions that you create.
Absolutely.
All right. Thanks for your time, Barrie.
Thanks so much.
And we'll see everybody soon. Bye-bye.